Hey everyone, and welcome back to Remember This Tech. You see behind me? It's another pile of computers and parts. So I got this haul behind me at a estate sale for $35 in total. Sometimes you find deals where somebody doesn't want their stuff anymore. They want it out of their garage, their shed, whatever, their house, and they just get rid of it. And you throw them an offer and they're like, okay, fine. So that's what I did. I don't know if anything works. I don't know hardly any of the specs on the computers or anything. I've got some retro laptops in here, and hey, even a newer model iMac. Whether I can fix anything, whether it still works, I don't know. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do a haul reveal and find out what we got and if anything's still usable today in 2024. Or maybe I got some retro gold gaming laptops back here for Windows 98 or maybe even XP. You never know. Maybe we can repurpose some of this stuff. So we're going to unveil this stuff and see what we got. This is exciting. Let's get right into it. Come on, let's go. This right here is a 2011 model iMac. It should come with a second gen i5 2400 series quad-core CPU, and that's about all I know. Only way to do now is to plug it in and find out if we can get anything out of this. Turn on or whatever, you know. Plugged in a generic keyboard and mouse. And this is a 21.5 inch screen. Power button. Whoa! 9 times out of 10 you'll have a dead hard drive in this. And they're a pain in the butt to repair or replace on some of these newer models. So we got backlight. Sometimes you hold down the Option or the Windows key or the Alt upon the boot up and you can get a boot menu. But it looks like there's power. It looks like the power supply works. We got the boot chime. I heard it access the super drive, so probably gonna need a hard drive on this. Okay, we got the Apple screen. It's probably 9 times out of 10 the hard drive. So is it trying to load? Whoa. Well, anyways, if this loads, this is awesome. If it doesn't, then we're going to replace the hard drive. But either way, I'm going to go and upgrade this in a future video. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and we'll check this out in a future video in all its glory. But sometimes these things are sold because they're too old. Sometimes no one knows what to do with them, doesn't want them, they get a newer one. It's loading too slow. I mean, this has got to be a hard drive and there's probably something wrong with it. Okay, so we got into the backup utilities here, restore utilities, and install macOS. So let's go and check just the disk utility and see if there's a problem, and there probably is. So yep, looks like what I thought. It's a hard drive issue. Oh, here we are. So yeah, let's see if we can restore it. Odds are we won't be able to if the hard drive's messed up, but it's worth a try, right? I highly doubt this worked, but back out of here and see if we can't let's see if we can restart. But pretty sure that there was something around the hard drive still, so let's go from that aspect and go from there. Yeah, it wouldn't boot up, so it's definitely the hard drive. So all right, well, we'll fix that later. Stay tuned for that repair video and upgrade. This next PC is a Dell Inspiron, and all I know is this got its Intel Core i5 on the sticker. That doesn't mean that's in there or not. So I'm just going to turn it on, see if it posts, boots, and then we'll open up the inside and see what it looks like. Alright, well, I broke the test monitor out because, well, VGA was the only one that was displaying, and the high def screen behind it, well, it's obviously it wasn't output. Yeah, this thing booted up, and of course I didn't see the boot screen because it's too busy trying to get that display output to work. It looks like Windows 8 is on here, so sometimes it gives you a hint. So let's look at this up. Let's look it up. Well, apparently system's working. It's making like coil whine noises, though. It could be power supply. So let's restart and let's go into the BIOS. And then we will let's see what specs are from the BIOS, and we can open the side panel and see what's in here for hardware. I'll get a feel of what it looks like at least. I always have a test monitor on hand. This is a build date of 2013 and 3rd gen i5 3340, 4 cores, 6 meg L2. It's got 12 gig of memory, DDR3 1600 megahertz. It's not too bad, you know. It's running off the onboard video, so it's not going to win any gaming awards. And that's about it, you know. So 12 gig of RAM, and it's got a 3rd gen i5, which you could throw in a faster i7 or something. But let's crack open the case, and we know the system's running and the battery's good, so let's shut her down. I'll leave the camera rolling because you never know what the heck you're going to get into when you open up one of these cases. It could be, you know, anything inside there. I can guarantee it was never cleaned. Oh god, looks like horrible. Oh my god. I cleaned the outside, but this is a rat's mess. Gross. So there you have it. It needs a huge dusting off, but hey, it's got a hard drive in here, which I'm not touching. I got a picture under there of the hard drive. It's a 1 terabyte. Not too shabby. There's a wireless card in there too, it looks like. Should take this and dust it off outside and then clean up the thermal paste. Re-image the hard drive with Windows 10 and that'd be a good secondary system. Or give it to somebody in need, you know? Not a bad score. This next setup is another Dell. It's another Inspiron. You know, it's got the SD card in the front, it's got Pentium inside, and that's it. See if it turns on. Sometimes you'll get these Pentium Gold chips, okay? No boot drive. So we got a Pentium G3 240, 3.10 gigahertz. It's not the greatest CPU, but I'll have to look up the specs, but it's only 2 cores, so it's not as good as the last i5, not by a mile. I think it's a 3rd gen, just like the other one. 12 gig of RAM, DDR3. It's running at 1333 megahertz though, so it's not as good. It's not bad either, but if I have another 3rd gen CPU, I could just drop it in there and go to town. Hard drive's not working, so it's probably dead. So why don't we open up the side and see what we have in here. Since the hard drive's dead or removed, we know we can't boot, so let's open it up. Same thing, open it up. It's probably going to be a mess. Yep, gross. Gross. Cobwebs. There's a hard drive in here, but it's dead, obviously. And then there's 2 sticks of RAM. XR8 has a label on there. It looks like it's been upgraded from the original. Bare bones, but you have, it looks like a wireless card in there. I suppose you could slap in a new CPU, or you could just put in a spare hard drive and get it running. Maybe if somebody wanted a better graphics card, they could use that too. There's one optical combo drive on the top. I think it's a combo DVD optical. Wasn't able to see it, but yeah, not too bad. I'm not sure that I would go overboard with this. Maybe take the RAM stick out if that's an 8 gig. And that's a 4, take the 2 8s and put them in the other system and make it a 16 gig system. Yeah, this is a PNY stick, 8 gig, so the other one's definitely a 4 gig. They're DDR3, but you know, if one's running at only 1333, then you know, the other one's going to default to that. So if this is 1600, then that was bad. So this is 1600, and this one is, you know, 1333, that's why it's defaulting to the lower speed to accommodate. That's why. There you have it. This is an older one, it's a compact. It's got the AMD X2. So it's a dual core AMD CPU. It's got 3 gig of memory. PC2 6400, which is anemic, but you got a 1 gig and a 2 gig stick here. 500 gig drive, whether it will be bootable or not is a different story. And yeah, BIOS battery is dead apparently. So that's what we got there. And okay, it's a Athlon 2 X2 dual core, so 215 processor, 2.7 gigahertz. And I suppose you could probably put in a quad core in this if you really wanted to speed it up, but you really have to decide what you want to use this for, because it's not newer. So onboard audio, video, LAN. So we got a CD-ROM, which might work. Okay, it's got a DVD multi-reader CDRW drive, and I opened it. No sense in saving because this CMOS is dead. Let's see if we can boot into Windows or whatever's on here. Who knows? Compact. Hard disk failure is imminent. Please back your hard drive up. So let's crack this case. It opens backwards than normal, so. Yeah, it's another dust show, but believe it or not, it's not as bad as the other one. It's mounted upside down in this stupid case. If you see, the CPU's down here, and then over here the PCI Express. It's got a modem in there, but at least it's got the serial ATA and then an anemic amount of RAM. So basically this is a computer you might just put something on here, a small drive in Linux or something, and then give it to somebody, because that's all I can recommend it, unless you want a retro gaming box. So needs a dust off. It's got a best tech power supply. That's all you have. That hard drive's dying, so another project for another day. Got this old PC with the heap. It's got a Thermaltake 600 watt power supply in there. And supposedly an i5 had no RAM, so I threw in a stick of RAM. Let's boot it up and see what's on here. USB 3.0 motherboard, capable. It's turning on, then it turned off. Okay, it turned back on, turned off. I don't have any codes, or the board. Short somewhere probably. Well, let's try a power supply. It's probably... Alright, I swapped out the power supply with possibly a known good one. Let's see if we can turn it on. Alright, we are turning on and then turning off again. Same thing. So it's either a RAM or a CPU problem, or a board problem. Pulled the CPU, at least, and it's a 4670, but I've got other boards that can support this, so we can test it in there. So maybe we can drop this in one of the Dell Inspirons that we have there. Maybe. Let's test it on a test board later and find out. So I tested this power supply out of here. I know it's a crap one, but it tested good on all the rails. So I guess I keep that. The CPU, the 4th gen i5 out of here. And call it a day for that one. Next up on the list is a compact Presario laptop. And it is a 1200 XL110, and normally this one's made for, they had Windows 98 2nd edition on it. Yeah, something's rattling around in there, but it's got a floppy drive, expansion port for probably like an air card or external hard drive maybe. And over here, CD-ROM drive, and this I think is for the battery right here. Open it up. I did a surface clean. It doesn't look too bad. Right here you got this weird up and down scroll. Battery, power, charging, plug port, monitor, LEDs. You got sound up and down buttons, and then some other things here. And you got your microphone in and headphone jack on the front. It says JBL Pro. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to be booming system. What I read was that this system usually came with the AMD processor, K62, maybe a 450, maybe a 500, and some rare ones even came with a K63 So who knows what's in here, but they came with 64 mega RAM, and whether or not it's been upgraded or not, well, we're gonna boot it up and find out. So let's do it. This thing came with the charger, right? So that was a big plus. It also came with a Microsoft mouse, which I cleaned up a bit. Serial connection, woo! Because this trackpad probably sucks. Let's plug in the mouse. I hate these old trackpads. Wonder if this will even work. And this is a ball mouse. So these things are notoriously bad to use, but hey, better than a trackpad, right? Let's see if we can turn it on, okay? Doesn't sound great. No display. Oh, life. Display is kind of lackluster. Alright, look at this BIOS, system BIOS, blah blah blah. Fujitsu disk drive, Toshiba CD-ROM, and we've got a bad CMOS, so let's go into F10. Let's zoom in a little bit, because this is pretty light screen. I don't know if I can even make it brighter, but that's how these old LCDs back in 98 was, anyways, 99. So let's see. So we've got 187 meg of memory. Somebody had expanded this. Somebody must have put in an extra 128 meg SODIMM, so that's pretty cool. 4 meg of video memory. Let's see if I can get the right. Is that better? Or is that worse? Looks worse, doesn't it? Can't get an output that's good for this video here. How about that? Let's see which is better. Alright, this is just going to be crap, because this screen's crap, and the angle's crap. So 4 meg of video memory. This could make a pretty good DOS box, maybe. DOS power. Yes, DOS power. So I don't really know what's on here, you know, but there's a boot order. Doesn't matter because we can't save anything. I wish I could see what the darn processor was, you know. It has Sound Blaster. Nice. Alright, so it could be a good DOS box. I heard it beep, so there's a sound, yeah. But you'd have to replace that BIOS battery. Some of these are easy, some are not. Let's see if we can get it to boot. I wonder if there's anything in the disk drive. Disk drive is not ejecting. What a surprise. Oh, Windows is starting. How about that? 2000 bonus! Yeah, sometimes, like, if you didn't want, like, Windows, 98 or Windows Me, Millennium Edition is crap. So I, in fact, installed 2000 Professional on one of my machines because it was so much better compared to the other choices like Windows Millennium. So, well, I mean, halfway decent score so far. But what we found out is this has a working hard drive, probably near maxed on its memory. CMOS needs to be fixed, replaced, but other than that, it does have video out for VGA, so maybe you could put it to a different monitor and be a little DOS or Windows 98 gaming box. Not bad for a retro haul. Next system here is a Gateway laptop. We have a VGA out. And on the sides, we've got 4 USB connectors, an Ethernet, and a telephone. Looks like one of those memory stick reader cards right there. And here's a modem slot, I think, or peripherals back in the day. It's designed for Windows Vista, so it can't be that old. And in the front, input output for your, let's open it up. I did a surface clean. I don't bring these in my work area until I at least wipe. So it says Centrino Duo. That gives me no hope. All right, so this may work for this power brick. Let's see if we can turn it on. Okay, let's try to turn the thing on. We got a fan, F2, BIOS. So F2 is the BIOS. Zoom in a little bit. You can barely see it. All right, 1 processor, 2 cores. It is a Core Duo 2450 at 2 gigahertz. Okay, 3 gig of RAM, which is nice for a laptop. Have a DVD rewritable drive. Error, CMOS is dead. So I could build data 2005. So we got a Western Digital hard drive. We don't know if it works. Oh wait, dual channel RAM, 4 gig, 2 and 2. 8 meg video for 8 meg of RAM for video. That's pretty sad, but okay. XP Vista. Great. Alright, so we're gonna have to replace the battery for the CMOS if we want to do much with this. And so there we have it. Let's just see if we'll boot. I know that it isn't the best laptop in the world, but it is a step up from what the other one was. It might boot. So it's probably a dead hard drive or somebody pulled it. Oh, I can hear it clicking. Hard drive is definitely dead on this. So what can you do with this? Replace the drive, put in like a SSD or just a hard drive if you want. Throw on Linux Mint Mate, give it to a kid just learning for computers or something, you know, or somebody who doesn't have anything. So far it seems to work. Plenty of memory too. So I might put Mate on here or LMD6 or whatever that is. Oh, maybe a future video. Stay tuned for that. Last laptop in the haul is Ashton Digital. I've never in my life heard of this. I looked it up. I couldn't find hardly anything either. It does have a DVD ROM drive and a floppy in the front. It could be an Ethernet port, and then on the back for connectivity, 2 USB, parallel serial, VGA out is a PS2 port, and we have your input output for your microphone and such. Got some corrosion on a screw back here. Doesn't look very good. And then you got a PCI MCIA card in the back. This unit, somebody scavenged the RAM. It's supposed to be for XP Home, so what I will do is put a stick of memory in here if I can get one, just to boot it up, maybe. I put in a stick of a SODIMM. That didn't sound very good. We've got nothing, Captain, nothing! Maybe we need a different power supply. Thing is booting up. 20 gig hard drive. Ooh, what? CPU, mobile AMD. 1 gigahertz. Oh, zoom in. You see that? I know this is a crappy screen. 1 gigahertz CPU. And the fan is going, proves it. 376 mega RAM. So, not bad. I hate the sound of that fan. PC 133. This is the weirdest BIOS ever. But the mouse works. This system, I think the CMOS is shot too. But a 1 gigahertz Athon mobile laptop? Okay, playing with power now. Let's see if it boots up. I think it's overheating. Can't get out of the BIOS. Alright, so F1 to continue. Hard drive's probably dead. It's not booting up. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah, I won't take it, so what do we know here? The drive's dead, or there isn't one in here. Also, this has a 1 gigahertz Athlon mobile PC CPU, so that's not bad. So yeah, we should do some further testing on this unit. Score. Pulled off the heatsink here. Really small for this unit. I don't even know how it does the job, but yeah, this doesn't come out, but that's a AMD Athlon 1 gigahertz. It looks kind of scorched, so hopefully it's not too dead. Clean this fan out, put some fresh thermal paste on there, and maybe we can breathe life into this thing. I was able to use a plastic scraper, and most of this thermal tin came off. Now I gotta try to get the copper clean. So I cleaned out the fan here, cleaned out the CPU, it got pretty clean, yeah. Hybrid copper heat pipe, thermal pad, and heatsink, pretty clean. Let's get a little bit of MX4 thermal compound on here. See if we can't get this thing rolling. Should be much happier now. These no lidded bare die CPUs, you just can't use too much thermal grease because it can get all over the place. But yeah. Line it up. Line up the screws. And I can go from there. So final thoughts on the haul reveal for $35. What was I most excited about in that haul? That 2011 i5, second gen i5 model iMac, that's probably what I'm most excited about. I want to get into that system, I want to replace the drive, I want to reload the OS, see what I can get on there, maybe get a more modern Mac OS on there. That was the best one out of that. The second one was the i5 Dell computer system. You know, a little bit of cleaning up, throw in a $14 SSD and convert that 1 terabyte drive to a secondary storage, and you got yourself a nice quad-core little computer. I mean, down the line, somebody could put a PCI Express graphics card in there and maybe do like gaming, but hey, not too bad. The other system might be able to salvage that i5 4th gen chip and maybe replace that gold dual-core CPU out of that other Dell Inspiron, I guess. And if it takes it, then that's a decent system too, because it had 12 gig of RAM. So I really was excited about the no-name Ashton digital laptop. It had that 1 gigahertz Athlon CPU, but there's more wrong with it than I can tell right now. I know there's a dead hard drive, and I know that the DVD-ROM drive is dead, so it's going to take more parts to get running than I may want to spend on. The little compact looks pretty cool, might be a good DOS gaming machine or something, or Windows 98. Well, I couldn't figure out what CPU was, but it's probably a 450 or 500 megahertz K62. The gateway laptop, well, not that excited about it. Looks like the backlight's failing on the system. Hard drive's dead. I could slap in a SATA hard drive, really, you know, mechanical one. I've got tons of those. See if I can get an OS on there and breathe some life back into it. Might be a good Linux, a lightweight Linux distro on there. Odds are that CPU, if it's a Centrino or a Core Duo, not a Core 2 Duo, that means that it won't have 64-bit instructions, so I'm limited to 32-bit OS. Well, there's not a lot of Linux distros that are continuing to support that, so we'll see. So overall, it was a decent haul. I think I've got a few upcoming videos and restoring some of these systems, so I think it was definitely worth $35. Heck yeah. So thanks for coming along with me on this haul reveal video, and thanks for watching. Remember this tech.